Hello, my name is Olivier Harvey. I will be presenting today's KKE reporting and notification. And just to start with, just wishing you all a Happy New Year and all the best for 2015. That being said, I will then continue with the presentation. So as a reminder, this is a public session, so please consider to reduce your line and background noises. If you have to submit questions, please use the chat or the Q&A session. That will allow my colleagues and the panelists as well to answer perhaps beforehand, before I see the question. And question not related to today's topic, would be nice to hold them until the end, until we have answered all the other questions. As a reminder, KKE sessions can be viewed at www.case.com/kke, where you can see the upcoming sessions. You can access the archives for the last years, and as well to contact and sending suggestions for new ideas, for new content, for what you would like to see in the KKEs at kke@case.com. Upcoming sessions. The next sessions will be on Wednesday 14th about advanced software distribution. On Wednesday the 21st, we will talk about keeping your Windows deployment up to date. And on the 28th, we will be utilizing custom imagery rules and fields. And again, kke@case.com if you have any suggestions for future teams. So for today's agenda, we'll have a quick overview on the reporting. We'll go quickly through the assistant, how to do use the SQL part in the reporting, how to schedule reports, notification and alerts, and at the end I will do a demo to show you some of the stuff I'm doing. So just a quick overview. The questions has always been asked during our jumpstart is what can be reported, everything which is in a database. As again, database, what database? It will be a MySQL database. And how do you access the database, which I will show you as well. And the SQL part is surely through the reporting module directly in the K1000 or through external tools, which could be Excel, could be Crystal reports, or any other tool which allows you via ODBC to access the data, a database. You can then access our data and retrieve it. You can do your own charts or just use the connection to import data into another tool. They can be scheduled, yes. That's what we'll show you a bit later with the schedule part. And then what else can the report module do for me? Alerts and notifications. So I do talk a lot about alert notification because it's something many people do not use and not see. And hopefully with the little ideas I will give you today, you will start using them as well if you don't do it right now. So on the reporting module, you have probably seen already that you have a lot of reports which already been done. You have a lot of types, HTML, CSV, text, Excel, and PDF, which you can then view or export directly the data to, the reporting to. It allows you through this symbol as well to schedule. You have different categories through the view by, where you can then select on which reports grouping you have done and you would like to filter. I always propose a naming convention, which could be that you start as well with patching or with some other names. As I'm working myself alone, I always start with my first my name initials, OH, so at least I can find my reports I've done quickly. As I mentioned before, you have the view by, the different categories: compliance, their warranty, distribution, hardware, history, and you can see that for different conferences I prepared stuff. So I get them already grouped by, and then I only have to go there, and then I will select and can show directly the reports I've prepared for my different sessions. There's a report which comes from us by default, which is already in the K1000 and you would like to reuse it or change it, you can do that. So by default, the report cannot be changed. We always recommend as well, okay, the K1000 or K2000 to duplicate, and then you are able to edit and change perhaps some data in it. For example, in this case, there is a computer disk is lower than 50%. You are able now to go inside, duplicate it. It comes with a copy title. Change the title if you want, and then you only change the data you need to. So depending on the report, some will be kept in the assistant, some will be like this one, pure SQL code, and then you only have to find the little values you would like to change, and at this time, and then you save it, and then you can run this report with the new changes. So how to create a report? So there are two types of report. One is the wizard, and one is directly the SQL. So if you click the wizard option, you have then the option to type in your title, your category. You choose afterwards then the topics, and you click next, next, next. If you choose SQL, you get as well the option to choose your category, but then you get only the option to enter your SQL code. So I just go through the assistant, but I will not go through all the screenshots. I will only mention one or two screens which I think are important and be aware of. So the one is on the sort and breaks. You have the name option, and then you have the sort of break headers. A lot of people ask me what are the break headers for. I will show you, I think, one example after this is to group everything around this field. For example, if name in this case will be operating system, then you have a grouping about all the machines which are about Windows 7 or Windows 8. It will be Windows Vista or XP, and then everything is grouped. The system will already count automatically how many machines or objects are related to this grouping, and I think this is a very nice option, and not a lot of people are using it from the beginning. The other option is when you start using filters. This is something which came with version 6, I think 5.5 on some occasions, but when you have a field which is a date field, you get extended options in your operators. So it's not only like contents or contains or bigger or equal. Now you really have, it's not written in the next days or hours or months. It's before now, after now, so things like this, even so sometimes they're a bit difficult to understand what they really mean, but they are there and give you the options to choose from. So this is what I say with the break header. It will give you the option to say, I have one Macintosh OS X 10.7 machine, I will have 3 Windows 7 Enterprise x64, and I will have 1 XP machine in my database. So this is what the break header is for. So SQL, very simple. As mentioned before, you type a new report with SQL, then you have to enter yourself manually the SQL code. Surely not everybody is an expert, and second, you don't know automatically the database by hand. You probably will have to use a tool like FlySpeed or MySQL Workbench or any other ODBC SQL tool. To get in the database, use it. You can use as well one of the other reports, copy and paste the SQL code into one of these other tools, test them, and once you're happy with it, you can then go inside here, say new SQL report, and paste your commands you just picked up from your tool, and then enter it here, and then say save. If normally there is no error in your SQL code, the system should say that it's okay, and you will then be able to run your report. So as I mentioned before, you will need to create your ODBC connectors and your ODBC data source tool, and then you have only to have data source name. This is what you want. Your DHCP server, your address, the port is normally automatically filled in because you're using the MySQL or DBC driver. User will be R1. The password is known for everybody. If you have not changed it, it will be box 747. And the database name by default is org1. You click test, and then you should get an OK for that. And then you can start using it with third-party tools. I will show it in my demo, but if you want to use Excel, you have to use a user DSN to make it work. And you can use, for example, in this case, the MySQL Workbench. You can cut and paste directly code from your K1000 reports, run it, and then it will show you the results below. There are some examples on K1000. If you search for knowledge base, search on report, with a new tool, you will need to go into a bit more in detail, for example, and select that it's the K1000. And then here, I think it's how to, and then you get a better view on everything which is reports, and you won't get any other information regarding, for example, how to, because the K1000 keyword is quite often in your system, our system. So I use the plus report plus K1000, and then I filter this through the product and as well the topic, and this is how I come from. So it gives you some nice example of SQL reports, surely in IT Ninja for the message board. And if you want to access to a database, it's only searching on case on Google. You search for case, and I think it's database access or reporting, and then you should get it. But I will copy and paste you as well the the line into the chat window. Just a second. So here we go. Okay. So report scheduling. So any report you are creating can be scheduled. It's very simple. You click on this little icon here, and it will automatically get you into the report schedule module, where it's already your report selected. If you go directly into this module, reporting schedule, you get, and you say new schedule, then you will have to choose your report yourself. Otherwise, it will point you out directly the report you have just selected from. You type in a name. You can select which format you want to send it. So by email, I suppose it's better to send it by PDF or as an Excel sheet or CSV, HTML. Can be done, but I would probably recommend to use PDF or Excel sheet. You can choose who should get the report. And then you can as well don't send if the report is empty. And then you select the schedule if you want to have it every day, once a month, every now and then. So, and then you can use as well the cron tab method if you want to. So very nice if you want to see and follow up on certain things like deployment of software, or if, for example, users are using software which they shouldn't. Here we come to the part of notification. So notification is the ability to get information on some events which are happening in your devices, in your device discovery part, and as well in assets. So this could be, for example, on assets, if a warranty of certain devices are running out, for example, mobile phones or the warranty of switches, routers, of software, things like this, of licensing, and you need to renew it, you can have an alert running and inform you that months ahead you have to renegotiate these contracts. On device discovery, it could be that surely a new machine has been discovered on your network and you would like to know what it is and who it is. In that case, you can then search for it, find it, and you can detect that this is a machine coming from an end user which bought his own laptop and is connected to your business network and use it to download videos or whatever. So that could be as well an intrusion. Somebody is using his laptop to get access to data which he wants then to take out of the company. And device notification, there are as well several articles on IT Ninja. Others would be, for example, you want to know when somebody has torrent software installed. So you can use as well there a label, which is then searching for. The way you create, I would show you that the way you create them is like you would create an advanced search or a label, and then if a machine is then reporting that it has torrent, you will get automatically an email informing you that this machine has a torrent or any other software you don't want on your network installed. As mentioned before, depending on what you have chosen, you will jump into devices or device discovery or assets, and then it will give you the same way as you get to create labels. You get your different fields, the operator and your condition, and then you create it, and then you will be able to receive to define the frequency. That could be every 50 minutes if you want to be aware of something happening now or as soon as possible, but you can have as well things like this running only once a day. Once you have created your notification, or you use SQL code, otherwise you have the ability to go back into the new created notification and choose the different actions here, or you go into the SQL code, or you re-click and go back to the assistant. Here's a part for alerts. So alerts is something is to be used for urgent issues in this case. For example, your email server is down, service returns in 30 minutes, thank you for your patience. That could be very useful to not get codes from all the customers or all your users saying that the email server is down, because you already know that. But because email is down, you cannot send an email to customers telling them email is down. So you use another way. And Case is perfect for that because it's using the agent, the network. So it's similar to the old broadcast on the Windows. You're sending out a broadcast and you tell them, for example, I could have added that as well in the text. Please don't call us or don't call support. We are aware of the issues. Please be patient, and the service will be back in very soon. So this allows you then to concentrate really on the real issue. And if somebody calls, then at least you probably know he hasn't seen this, or he should, because this message will pop up over all the other windows, or it's somebody which has really another problem. Okay, so you send it to all devices or certain devices, and then save it and run now. The other thing will be, please shut down your system tonight if you have a power cut for the whole building, or if you have other issues to be done. It could be used as well. Another way to write the text will be, you want to be a green company, please shut down your system on the weekend or every night so we can save energy. And in the same matter, it will allow you, for example, to have the system rebooted, so the end user won't be aware of, but for your case, it will be that all the patches are applied to deploy it over the days. Because many people, if it's a patching asking them to reboot, it's like, I don't want to do it. It's not, I have not decided to do it, so I want to do it. So then at the end, you end up with users where the system hasn't rebooted for 2, 3, or 4 weeks. And in this case, perhaps the end user is a bit more, let's say, aware of the ecosystem and wants to be green as well and wants to help and saving energy for the company and money. In this case, he will be more willing to shut down the systems. And for you, on the same time, you save energy for the company, but you have as well your system patched. So as mentioned again, user important server shutdown or critical systems. You could be informed about user company events, for example, free cake in the lobby, CEO meeting in the canteen, etc., anything which comes up. It could be used as well to inform users about changes will occur on the computer system. It could be that you will reboot the system in the next 20 minutes because there will be an important update for the antivirus or something like this. And it could be as well through labels that the end user will be informed about low disk space or that he has unauthorized software installed. So a lot of things can be done, and I think the alerts is probably the part where a lot of people are not going there. And I think it should be more used because it's helping you to save time. Okay, let's go over to a little demo. So I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So as mentioned before, you get the reporting here. You get already done reports. You go over here and then choose, for example, their warranty, and you get here your their warranty will expire within the next 60 days. So as mentioned before, you click here, and then you can duplicate it. You go next, and then you get the different options here. Next, all the information coming up. And then you get here during the following days. So if you want to change it, you could do that. As I mentioned before, I would always recommend first to duplicate it and then change the value here. If something is SQL code, then you duplicate it straight away, and then you get in and then change the code. It's a good way as well to get the SQL statements if you want to directly work with our database without going through the wizard. You can create some reports which are close to what you want. So it gives you an idea which tables are touched, and then go back here. So when you create a new report with the wizard, as mentioned before, I always use OH as my initial, so I know I did that. Test KKE 2015. New category probably has somewhere test KKE. Description, I always recommend to do descriptions because when you start doing it, at the beginning it's sure you only have created one, but then you play with it and you create 2, 3, or 4, and at the end you don't know which one has done what. So always recommend to write something here up. And surely if one of your colleagues see then the reports in 2 or 3 weeks and you're on holidays or you're outside the company or you're somewhere in training, then you don't want to call him and send him an email asking him, so it would be nice to have used the description. So use the different topics. I will keep it here on very simple. Click next. Device information. I would like to have the system name, IP address, operating system. This is where I use my name. And user information, the domain username, and that's it. So let's go next. So name up and system name. Just decide here that I want to have a break header on this one. System name, sorting, and this is the break header which will be sorting all my operating system first, and then count them, and then you have the machine names under it. So I will be able to, if I want to, agent connect time is a date field. As I mentioned before, you get much more fields options here within the next is not within the last, and then you can choose the value, and then it could be hours, days, months, years. This is the option I always choose if, for example, I want to deploy only patches which are older than 10 days from today. So cancel. I would save this one, and then OH test report, run my HTML. And here we go. So I got my different no name because this is a printer. This is my FreeBSD. And I got here my different operating systems grouped by 8 machines, which are Windows 7 Enterprise. And here we go. If I want to schedule that, I just click on the option. I say OH test KKE. You can see that the report is already selected. I can choose it's a PDF, KKE, and then I choose who should get the user. So I can choose Olivier at case.local, subject. I could have as well have here in subject line a name, or as well up here in the name, for example, found BitTorrent software. And I would get then every day my report, which I have to change here. So make sure that if it's empty, then I don't get it. And I would say every day, and I want to report at 8 o'clock in the morning. So when I come in at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, I will have the PDF, the email. If data is there, I will get an email, and I can see it because it's just before I'm coming in, so it will be on top of my emails. I could save it, and then I could decide to run it now. Save run now, and that will be coming up in one of my other systems. So the time it takes to appear in my other, here we go. So if I go to my system here, I got test KKE, and I got my PDF here. I think I don't have, yeah, I don't have Acrobat Reader on the system. So yeah, so here we go. So that should be how it will look like. You get test KKE, and it will be sent by the reporter agent on your K1000. Okay. As mentioned before, if you want to use SQL, then you will need to have SQL code. So what you could do is I could go here to my SQL, edit SQL, select this information here. I could then copy, and then I will open up my SQL workbench, and then I could create a new SQL query. I could paste it in and say execute, and automatically I will get the results, which I just had before. If I want to change something, I could go inside and change different things. I could add, let's have a look at my tables. Let's go into machine. Let's see which fields I have. And I could use, for example, what could we add? Run total. And then let's just say, machine username. Oh, here we go. And then we get total run as well executed. I could then go back, copy. I will go back to my workbench here, reports, just create a new SQL. paste. I would say break on columns, that will be on OS name. And I would save it and run it. I get the same reports and now directly from SQL code. So the other part will be the reschedule, what we just talked about. Notification. So notification is a bit different. It allows you, as mentioned before in my presentation, to get you informed about changes which are happening in your environment. So there's roundy off for a camera, for example. If I go inside here, I will get here my asset types, which is looking for my assets for camera. If I click here, I can go back to my, I should be able to go back. No, it doesn't want to, so just I'll go to the SQL code directly. This is what I'm here. Otherwise, I could go directly to assets, and I have here the option for notification. Let's go for asset type, camera, and I could go back and notification, and then choose which one I want to look for, and then create my notification. So if I go back here, notification, and on the warranty, the frequency, if it's daily, every 30 minutes, 50 minutes, weekly, daily. So when it's hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly, it would start from the, so if, for example, if I create a new one now, it will start from 4 o'clock. So in the time, so let's have a look if I create a new one. Let's just say torrent. I will test. I shouldn't have any system, but just in case, test, that will be notification. How it's installed, recipient. Okay, I will daily or weekly. If I say daily, and then I say create. And I will then see the next one will be at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, so it will be always in the hour where it has been created. You have no chance then, unfortunately, to change that unless you created it tomorrow again at 10 a.m. if you want to receive it at 10 a.m. Okay, so I should be able to go back here and change it. Yeah, so I don't know what happened before. I don't see anything. I don't see any questions or Q&A. No. So the other part will be in distribution, there's this option for alerts, where is, for example, please shut down your system tonight. As mentioned before, you can choose all devices. You can then select as well the systems you are looking for example, in this case, my machine, and then decide if you want to have a message sent to everybody or just now. I do a save and run now. And in the next 20 seconds, the system's code should come up on my system with the Dropbox we have seen before. And here we go. Please shut down your system tonight. Okay, so the same will be regarding the email server is down. And again, you can choose to send it to your machine and then run and save now. And then you send it to all devices, and then all the machines which are actually connected to your network will then get the information, and it's popping up all over your other applications, and it will stay there for an hour unless the user clicks OK. So just regarding the SQL workbench, as mentioned before, you will need to install the MySQL or DBC drivers. If you then do add, you will get this new option, MySQL, in this case 5.2 driver, available. You can then edit it, and then you type in the different options. You get here your the IP address of your K1000 server, the port used, R1 as a user, the box 747 in your database. And then if you click test, you should get connection successful. As mentioned before, if you use Excel, you need to create as well one for Excel. It's the same as the other one, but you have to create it. Otherwise, Excel won't find it. Once you have done it, in Excel, you will be able then to connect through insert, there will be data, then you have from existing sources, from query, and then you choose your K1000 database, click OK. You choose the tables you want to ask the data for. Just going too fast. So I'm not sure it's the right field, so just OS name next, click next, and then OK, and then you get the data coming up. So then you can then start creating and insert graphs and things like this, and then you only have to refresh the data if you want to have this refreshed. So is there any questions about this so far, as I'm still open to the on the demo phase? So please use the Q&A or the chat if there's any questions. Otherwise, I then go back to my presentation and just finish my last slides. Okay, so we'll then stop sharing. So I give you a second chance. If there's any Q&A, any questions? In this case, just for information, this is the actual versions, K1000 on 6.2.109.330. The agent bundle is on 6.2.10.25 for Windows. There's been a little patch coming out for end of the last year. Otherwise, for Unix and Mac, there has no changes. The mobile app, I think it's on version 2.1, and the K1000 both has been updated to 3.7 beginning of December. So we get on 3.7.110.8.4, or for the remote site appliance on the 3.7.109.657. We have changed our way to create tickets with the support. So you are not able, for creating a new ticket, to use email anymore. You have to go on to your portal and connect yourself with your logins, or you have to call support to create it. Once your ticket has been created, you are able then to communicate via email to go further on. Otherwise, user forums for itninja.com, k1000.com if you want to ask for a new feature and enhancements, and as well, if you want to get a newsletter regularly from us, then go there and check the box that you want to get emails from us for the newsletter. So I can see there's a questions. What external programs do you recommend for reporting? Also, can you append reports to create a master report? So I'm not really recommending tools. For the moment, I'm using a lot of MySQL Workbench. There's Tort, which is as well a good tool. I think if you're not too strong in SQL, there's a little tool which is a freebie, which is called FlySpeed, which is quite nice. FlySpeed, like the fly and then speed. And it's just quite nice because it allows you to create your, for example, if you have conditions, it will help you to create the query. Unfortunately, the connection to databases is a bit more complicated, so you need to then drag and drop the fields which are related to the SQL query I created with the K1000. So it's a nice tool if you're a bit aware of why it doesn't give you the copy and paste for the SQL query using K1 is running in FlySpeed, but it's quite nice. And otherwise, other reporting tools I've played in the past only with Crystal Reports. I think there's BO Objects or some others, but I think there's a lot of software outside. So if you used to use Excel, it's perfect. It will allow you to do a lot of things. And surely if you want to append CSV files or Excel sheets, it's probably the most easy way to do that in Excel. And then you get your pivot graphs adapted automatic to it, because then it expands with the size of your Excel sheet. Otherwise, Case itself will not allow you to be able to append several reports into one. So you will have to export them in several Excel sheets and then bring them together with Excel or with any other tool. But we are not able to do that. Will that be because you have several K1000 and then you want to bring them together? Is that why? One? Or is your questions different to what I answered you? Okay. No, you will have to receive, like if you have a weekly report on 5 modules, you will get 5 emails. There's no way apart if you are able to, well, no. No, I wouldn't, for the moment, I wouldn't see how to do that. Otherwise, yeah, you could create a one SQL query which bring everything together, but I don't think that would be nice. No. The only thing would be to use Java portal, or there are some people which have done on IT Ninja. They have some nice reporting tools which allows you to interrogate the database directly. So what you could have is your own dashboard, which is different from ours, which allows you as well and to configure it and to put in SQL code to allow you to get that. So I have to check if I still got the link somewhere. Yeah, it will be this one. It's a Twitter bootstrap for the case thing, which somebody has created his own dashboard. This was mainly for the service desk, but I think you can probably, if you adapt it as well, change it to your view. So I can put that in the chat for everybody. Yeah, so sorry, we are not able to send an email which brings all the reports all together. So for the moment, it's only one report per schedule. I hope this answers your question. Okay, so this is the end of today's KKE. So if there is no other or further questions, then I will let you do the day, and I think we all have a lot of work to follow up with all the holidays and New Year's events. So if there is no more questions, then I will close the session for today and hope to see